welcome to episode 39 of FrannyDoMakes. My name is Fran. This is my channel where I talk about all the things that I've been making and crafting over the last 2 weeks. In this case, I think it's 3. But yeah. Today I have some finished objects, I have some works in progress, I have some acquisitions and plans. And yes, welcome. Today is Monday the 18th of September. It's very rainy and grey and horrible here in Leeds in the north of England, in West Yorkshire. I thought I was going to escape from it. I've been for my haircut this morning and I was walking back, but I did get a little bit wet, so my hair's a bit flattened. Yeah. So yes, I hope you are all well. I hope you've had a lovely 2-3 weeks and that you've made lots of lovely things. You've been crafting your way through the crazy heat wave that we had, and then now we've got autumn apparently. So yeah, here we are. Yay. So yeah, I have lots of things to show you and lots of things to talk about, so we'll get into it. First of all, we'll start with where you can find me elsewhere. So I will put my card up here. So as you can tell, I'm FrannyDoMakes on most things. So here on YouTube, also on Instagram and on Ravelry if you'd like to follow me over there. I do put all my projects up on Ravelry and with all details about the yarns and everything like that. Also show notes for the podcast itself. So if you have any questions about who designed the patterns or links to the yarns and things like that I use. All that is over on the website, which is www.frannydo.co.uk, and the links for all of those things will be found in the description box down below. So yes, we'll start with what is on the wall, which is my latest finished object. So this is a Pure Joy shawl. It's a pattern by Locatelli, and I have knit it as part of the Joji Fall knit along, which she does every year between I think September and November, I think it is, or December. So yeah, I only decided to knit the one thing, which I mean took me no time at all really. 2 to 3 weeks I think, because I've not even started it. I was going to start it the last episode, so, and I've just finished it. It is blocked and I think it's turned out lovely. I'll get it down in a moment. So yeah, I think I could have signed up for a couple more things, but I have got plans to maybe take part in another sort of mini knit along in October, or I might just start the project that I was going to start then anyway, because I'm without an easy project. Well, no, my other 2 projects are socks that I'm currently working on. So if you just bear with me one moment, I will get it off the wall. So here I am. So, as I said, this is the Pure Joy shawl. Oh, it looks lovely on screen. So, well, you start over here. You start off with a, what do you call it? A garter tab cast on. So you start in here and you slowly with short rows and eyelets form this long, thin shawl. So let me get my project card. Here we go. So I used 2 yarns which have been in stash for quite a while. I hope you've got a nice cuppa. I am drinking my favourite hot cross bun tea from Bird and Blend. It's my favourite. Okay, so we've got Pure Joy, Joji Locatelli. I started it on the 1st of September when the knit along started. So the yarns I used, the lovely orange there is from Pixie Yarns. And it is the colourway Foxy. So this is a sock yarn, merino and nylon 75/25, 4-ply, 425 meters to 100 grams. Lovely solid yarn there. I don't know if it's one of her permanent colours, I can't remember. There you go. And the contrast colour, I was originally going to make it the other way around, with the blue and then the orange, but when I looked at the pattern, you needed almost a full skein of the main colour, and my contrast colour was actually it's from Lockwood Fibres, which is lovely, Emily, and it's a singles, 100 gram, 100% superwash merino singles yarn. So there's slightly less meterage, so 366 meters per 100 grams. So I probably would have still been alright. I used 348 meters of the main colour and 267 meters of the contrast colour. I finished it on the 14th of September, so yeah, exactly 2 weeks it took me to make it. Oh, I mean, it's called the Pure Joy, and it was an absolute joy to knit. It's such a simple, it's just garter stitch and some eyelets, some yarn overs. It's just the perfect TV knitting. It was just so easy to, and at some points I didn't really even count how many, where the short rows were supposed to be, so some of them will be in the wrong place, but who cares, it doesn't matter. I didn't count the stitches because, I mean, there's that many. Look how long that last row is, all the way there. So yeah, I am very, very pleased with it. The colours are just so lovely together. So the blue colour didn't have a name on the ball band, but I think it was something like industrial steel or something. It's like a denimy blue with little flecks of the orange in. Yeah, and I just really like it. I think it's turned out so nice. I think I'll wear it a lot. It's just lovely autumnal colours. So yeah, I would definitely make this again. I think it's a great pattern for just using up those odds and ends if you've got two skeins of yarn that go well together. You know, with like a variegated here and like a solid here would look lovely. Or some speckles would look lovely. Yeah, so I would highly recommend it. It was a really easy knit, easy to follow. Oh, just look at it, it looks so nice. I'm really, really pleased with it. It's just what I needed. It's just what I needed. So yes, highly recommend it. Oh, his patterns are always amazing anyway. I've made a few of hers. Oh. Okay. Oh, sorry for the noise of my chair. So my next finished object is something for Minnie. So I made her the DRK Everyday Cowl. Is that what it's called? Yes, by Andrea Mowry. And I used some, I mean, it looks crazy enough anyway, but it's slightly less crazy. Hold it up there. It's blowing out some of the colours a little bit, like the green is much greener than that. But anyway. So I used Felt Fusion. I've got another skein of it there, hang on. Felt Fusion DK Zebra yarn. Oh yeah, that shows up the colours a bit better. and this is called Spring Bouquet. So I got one of them at a yarn show, and then I thought, oh, I'll make her a hat to match. And I've got a nice blue pom-pom, green pom-pom to go with it. So it's an asymmetric cowl. It does fit me. Let me put it on, then I'm not stood holding it up. Oh, it almost does. Just fits me. Okay. Can't see anything without my glasses on. There we go. Okay, so yes, it's an asymmetric. So you cast on, I think, this one corner here, and you, oh no, it must be the other side, this side, and then you slowly increase, and then you do these sort of slip stitches to make this kind of rib, and then eventually you sort of stop, and then you do an I-cord bind off there, and then you're supposed to seam the sides together. But when I measured it, I'd not done a gauge swatch because I was like, it's a cowl. But when I measured it, it was only coming up at like 17 inches along this top bit. And it was meant to be 19, so I knitted the youth size for Minnie. And there's not much, well, there's no stretch in this top edge, so I had to pick up the stitches and just make like a strip. I did think of, like, you know, actually no, I didn't at any point think, oh, I'll rip it out and do it again, because I thought, what's the point? So yeah, I had to add this little bit in the back there, which is fine. She doesn't care, I don't care, it still fits. So yeah, that's for Minnie, for when the weather gets like it does. So it's a crazy colours, crazy pooling, but she likes it. So yes, I've got another lot of this yarn, and I'm thinking I might make her an Oslo hat. Is it the Oslo? Where it has that like fake brim. I was going to do a muscle braid, but that's I don't know. I've not decided which one I'm going to go for. But yeah, she's going to have a matching set, so I'll maybe cast that on at some point. I don't think she needs it yet anyway. So yeah, I used a 4mm needle, so I probably should have gone up a needle size. Well, if I make one for myself, which I might do, I would know to go up a needle size to get the right gauge. And I used 80 grams of the skein, so that was 180 meters for that youth size. So you'd probably need a bit more than 100 grams, I think, for an adult one, which is a bit, I mean, I'd say that's a bit poor in the design sense, really, because you don't want to have to buy 2 skeins of DK to only knit a bit. I mean, I suppose you could use, you know, scraps and bits and bobs, but if you wanted a solid colour, then you'd have to get extra, wouldn't you, and then not use the whole of the next one. Anyway, it still turned out nice. It'd be nice. There's a stripy version, and she does a faded version as well, so I think they'd all be nice. Right, so they're my finished things. So I'll move on now to works in progress. So I've got 2 pairs of socks. The first pair is the Flourite socks, which is also an Andrea Mowry pattern. Just hang on a second, I'll turn it around because I've got one finished, but it's like a reverse stockinette, the finished item, so you knit it sort of inside out. So just hold the line while I put this on a blocker so you can see it. It looks better on a blocker than not. Although it's a little bit big for this blocker because it's for Mr. B. Is that the right way around? Yes. Okay, so I finished one, which is this one. So it's a toe up, a fleagle heel, and just some ribbing. I did 2x2 ribbing. So this is using a sock blank from Noodle Soup Yarns, which was called Grunge. So it's a little bit wibbly. So in the stockinette, the right side, the stitches are not overly neat. You see? But on the reverse, you can kind of get away with it. Plus when it's blocked, it'll even them out. So yeah, there's one done. And the second one, I'm just working on the increases, the gusset increases for the fleagle heel there. So the yarn itself was like I said, a sock blank, and it was like a mirror image of itself. So this should be quite matchy. You see there? And the example, the pattern in the pattern page is like a faded thing, so I think that's worked quite nicely to show off the colours. Yeah, there we go. So he's quite pleased with that, and the heel worked out quite nicely. It's quite easy to do, and thought it'd give him a bit more space in the heel, having a gusset increase. So there we go. So that's the first one. So that's the Flourite socks by Andrea and Mowry. I'm knitting it a bit different. I think the stitch count, because I started it a few times using the stitch count in the pattern and it didn't work out. I thought, because Mr. B's got, his feet are not very wide, they're quite narrow, they're just long. He's not a very tall person. So he ended up knit a 64 stitch count was fine, and also I think this yarn, with it being wibbly wobbly from being in a sock blank, the gauge is a bit looser. So I knit a 64 stitch with 2.25 needles. Yeah. So the only thing that's different really is the fleagle heel, because I've done everything else as I normally do. So a Turkish cast on and a 2x2 rib for the cuff and an elastic bind off. So they're living in a bag from lovely Paula, stitched by Mrs. D, who I've been enjoying watching her September, what did she call it? Vlogtember. She didn't want to do Vlogtober, so she's doing it in September instead. Many escapades with the cats and things, very, very fun. So my next socks are some Halloween inspired ones. So this is a pair for my sister. So I am using some yarn from Coastal Creative Lincolnshire Links hand-dyed yarn. You can find them on Etsy, and this is 75 merino, 25 nylon, a 50 gram and 20 gram mini. It's called Halloween Spell. There we go. That's it in the cake. And the mini is this green, which again is blowing out. And I have gone cuff down. Cuff down on this one. And I am currently on the heel gusset decreases. But it's coming up lovely. So this is the Jardin, Le Jardin socks by Chit Knits. Oh, I haven't put the name of it. I think it's Chit Knits. Who does the slip crazy cowl? Yeah, so it's got this sort of, it's like ribbed and then has this sort of flower stitch detail there. I did it slightly different. I did just a normal. I think it called for a slip, a twisted rib, but I couldn't be bothered, so I just did a 2x2. And I did a German twisted cast on, 64 stitches on a 2.5. My sister likes them a bit stretchier, so I think it's meant to be on a 2.25, but I've done it on a 2.5. There you go. So you have, on the back is like a wide rib, and then on the front is this pattern, and then a slip stitch heel there, and then it's just plain knit along the base of the foot. So yeah, I'm just into my gusset decreases, which is my least favourite part of knitting socks cuff down, mainly because I kind of forget when to do the decreases, and you know, because it's such a long round, isn't it, when you're trying to decrease them from the gusset. So yeah, if you have any tips on how to remind yourself when you're doing the decrease and when you're just knitting, I'd be very grateful to hear those, because that's what puts me off. And then I get lost and I don't know where I'm going. Right, so that's all my works in progress at the moment, because I'd finished those two things. I've still got that red yarn caked up that I was going to do something with. I just feel like I don't want to cast on a garment at the moment. No, that's a lie. I don't want to knit a swatch. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to knit the swatch for the garment. So yeah, I need to just bite the bullet and do a swatch. But I'm thinking I'll do a cozy classic light, which is by Jessie May. I've brought the pattern, and just stripe it. So let me find it. Which was in my queue anyway, to do something with some random yarns that were in my stash, but I thought I wouldn't do it as cropped as this, but she does have a classic length as well. It's just a plain raglan jumper. So I think I'll do that, and then do some stripes on the body and the sleeves maybe. That's my thinking. Okay, so the next plans are, as we know, it's MCAL season, and I was talking about my yarn, getting my yarn last time. So I was going to try and get some commercial, because I used commercial yarns for my last, for the twisting twins. And I used Fibre Spates, Vivacious, and some Coop Knits, Soxier, and some Cascade Heritage. And I thought, oh, I'll use this similar, but I wanted some greens, because I'd seen when Stephen West put out the first video and showed all the kits, There was one particular one which was, I think, a punk rock unicorn kit, and it was all these greens, and I thought that looked really nice. But I couldn't find a dark enough green to be the dark, or a light enough green, you know, the same kind of tones. So, and I did find some and I put them in a basket, but it was still like £70. So I thought, well, I might as well spend an extra £5 and get the hand-dyed stuff. So I just went and got the hand-dyed stuff. So I know I could have got some drops or something else, but life's too short, isn't it? Anyway, so I have got my yarns from Pixie Yarn. I have already caked them up. Right, so first of all, I'll tell you, I bought them not as a kit, although she did have lots of kits, but the one that I liked that she did had sold, so I sort of made my own up. So, but I did include this one to start with, which is called Someone, which is slightly variegated, but when I show you the others, you'll see there's not enough contrast, I don't think, between the three. So the lightest colour I've gone for is this one, which I think might be in my Lapoof cardigan. So this one's called Shoreline. So it's got some little very light speckles of green and things like that. So then I was going to go this one as my second one, but that's quite a jump. And then the third one was going to be this. And then the last one was going to be this. Which in that doesn't look so bad, but they looked like too big of a jump. So I had a look in my stash for some other greens, and I found this one by Truly Hooked. So this one's called Grass is Greener. So this is number 1, this is number 2, so it's still got some speckles, but it's not really variegated. And then the next one is this one, which is called, it's a funny word, hang on, Peccaline, I think, like that. This green, it's looking a bit blue on screen, it's not that green, not that blue. And then the last one is this one, which is called Savoy, which looks almost black, but it's not. Look up close. So they are my 4. There we go. So we're having greens this time. So they're all caked up. I'm toying between making a swatch, but I don't know if I can be bothered. Again, can't be bothered swatching. So they're all ready to go. And have I written it on? No. And yeah, so they're just waiting now for the first clue, which is in October, isn't it? So where are we at? Oh, we've got a few weeks to go yet. So because I'm sort of in limbo waiting for that, because I don't want to start anything too big, because literally if you want to keep up, which I do want to keep up because I'll vlog my progress like I did last year with like a diary, you can't really knit on anything else. Unless, I mean, that first clue last year was just so much knitting. So that kind of set me off balance a little bit. But, you know, I did get it finished in a relatively ordinary time. So I did want to cast on another project, a shorter term one. So I fancied making the Bobbles Cowl. If I put it in my library, I don't know. Nope, I don't think I've purchased it yet. Is it on the list? Yes, here it is. Bobble Cowl, again by Joji Locatelli. Which I think is a one skein. Fun knit, single skein, little bobbles on the edge. Okay, so I have this lovely skein of yarn from Lay Family Yarn. Lovely Kelly and Nick. Can you see the label? There we go. It doesn't have a name. It was like a one of a kind, I think. I got it in the bargain bin at East Anglia Yarn Fest. So, sorry, it's falling to bits because I've had it out of the skein. So I might cake this up and pop it in a bag and cast that on. Because I think that'd be nice. It's either that or like a single skein shawl, but I quite fancied the cowl. It looked quite nice. Is it a wraparound one? It is, isn't it? I just thought it'd be a fun, easy. It looks like it's just garter stitch. Similar garter stitch and short rows. And eyelets. And some bobbles on the side. So that looks fun. I think that'll look nice. It's got some variegation, but it's mainly speckles. I think it's semi-solid enough that it'll work nice in that thing. So yeah, I might cake that up when I've finished here. Do I have any other plans to show you? Time we're on? 33. No, so that's everything, I think. Have I bought anything else? Oh, I did. I got another DK weight from Woolly Mama, which was the it says September, but I thought it was August, but it's this one. So I now have 3 of these. So I thought I might make out of these some big squidgy DK shawl. I know they're a bit blendy, but I think it'll just be fun. So I was thinking maybe like a brioche, but I don't think they're different enough for like a 2-colour brioche to work. But I did see a nice pattern from, hang on, I saved some in my favourites. I saw a nice one from Hedgehog Fibres called Electric Sheep, which I thought might be fun. Although you wouldn't see the stripes as well, I don't think, but it's a possibility. Or else the Odyssey Shawl by Joji Locatelli, that's a DK weight, 3-colour. Again. Or Pierre by Stephen West, but I think I'd need a 4th colour for Pierre. And really I like a triangle more. Oh, the other one was Lavella by Amber O'Brien, which is, does that say 3? This only has 2 colours, but I think you could do a 3rd. Oh, I think you need one of the colours, you need 2 2 skeins of it. Yeah, 500 yards. So I think I could fudge it. How squidgy would that be though? So yeah, what do you think? What do you think would work nice out of those ones? What would you suggest? How fun is this though? Oh, look at the colours. Like, I don't even know whether to just get another one, and then I've got 4. I don't know. I think a nice squidgy shawl would be lovely in that DK. So yes, that's something. They're a bit messy because I took them all out and spread them out just to see if there was enough, and there is enough variation. I mean, between the 3. There's just a lot of the pink. That pink sort of leads its way through them, which will make them so they go together. I don't think I bought anything else. I was thinking about going to Jardin, but I don't think I'm going to go now. But I do have tickets to go with my friend to the knitting and stitching show in Harrogate. And then also in November I'm going on the Woolly retreat, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going on the, is it the 24th of November? Let me just check. Yes, that's the Friday. The 24th to the 26th, I think, of November. That's the, because there's 3 different dates. So I'm going on that one, which I think is the second one. So yes, let me know if you're also booked on that. That would be exciting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I've booked my B&B. I need to book the Friday off work, I think, though, because, or at least a half day. So it'll take me a while to get there. It's a bit of a journey. But yeah, fun and games, so I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Dyeing my own yarn and seeing what everybody else does. And of course, they've got some, have you seen their colours recently? Is it like an autumn treat box or something? There's some amazing colours, and there's zebra yarn as well. I'm highly tempted to get some of that. I saw a lovely who had done it? It was Bird Street Yarn. They'd made something out of a zebra yarn and it looked really nice. It was like a cowl or a shawl. It looked really nice. Anyway, so yeah, like I need more yarn, but you know, it's a treat, isn't it? So that's everything knit-wise. In terms of life stuff, what had I spoken about? Oh, yeah, so we've had Dad's funeral now. That was last week. Kids have gone back to school. We had a day at, I think I told you I would go into Flamingo Land, and I had a horrendous cold. I did have a horrendous cold. I felt like absolute rubbish. I had 3-4 days where I had to just keep going to bed in the afternoons. I just felt dreadful. But then they've got, like I said, the kids went back to school. Minnie settled in fine to year 3 now. Yep, so she's up in the junior school and the, oh, what? No, it's not called that now, is it? Lower key stage 2. I don't know. Yeah, so she's gone back to school. I've been into work a few days. I'm hoping to go back in this week. Our telly broke. Well, it didn't break fully, but one side of the telly screen has lost its. The LEDs have like gone out, so it's dark, shadowed on one side. So that's a bit annoying. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm doing okay. Thank you for all your lovely comments. I'm doing okay. It's just difficult times, isn't it? Difficult times. But yeah, we're getting through it. I'm glad I've got my sister. It was her birthday at the weekend, so we went out for some cocktails on a Saturday, and then we went out for Sunday lunch with the family on Sunday. Obviously, Sunday lunch, Sunday. Had big Yorkshire puddings, obviously. So yeah, there's still lots to do, lots of stuff with the house and things, but we've sorted most things out, I think now it's just the house, which we'll get to. We're not rushing anything. But yes, thank you for all your lovely comments and your concern, and it's really nice to feel that warmth from everybody out there, so thank you very much. So that's everything. So how many times do I say so? Anyway, so buttons. Next time, hopefully I'll be back here in 2 weeks' time, which will that be the start of the MCAL? Hang on, where are we now? What's today? Okay, 1, 2, it'll be just before the start of the MCAL. So I will do one more podcast before that starts, and then through October I'll probably do the weekly MCAL diaries, so I'll just talk about whatever I'm working on, but because I generally work on that one thing in the month, there's often, last year I struggled to find something else to talk about on the podcast that you've not already seen, so if I do, I'll do one, but it'll probably just be the weekly vlogs. Okay, so take care of yourselves, take care of each other, happy knitting. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully I'll get something else on the needles. Maybe I'll swatch for that jumper. Maybe not. Okay, alright, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.